it's Natalie here again today, sharing with you a video about some different techniques that you can try using in the devotional books. I'm currently working through the I Am Strong devotional and I haven't quite finished. I'm still going through it, and today I'm going to be decorating the page on treasure. And one of the things I've really been appreciating about this devotional is that Wilna has even given us some suggestions about how we can decorate the page and what we can draw on each page. So here, you know, it might be obvious, but this is on treasure, which is actually talking about the treasure of having the Holy Spirit live inside of us. But the little prompt here, it says, draw a treasure chest and be reminded of the treasure in you. And I just think, you know, sometimes it can be difficult, like, to know how to decorate, and I can get sort of stuck for ideas. And clearly here through this devotional I've been doing some very non-relevant decorations just to sometimes sort of fill in the page, but sometimes they are relevant. And then so having these suggestions can be really helpful. You know, it says draw a treasure chest, and I am totally not able, arty enough to do that sort of thing. So instead I thought, you know, because when I think of this verse and the treasure living inside of us, it reminded me of the verse that talks about how we have this hidden treasure inside the earthly vessels. And when I think of that verse, I think more of like the pottery and clay types of vessels. And so then that got me thinking about the mason jar stamp out of the Lessons or Blessings devotional. So what I've done, so instead of drawing a treasure chest, I'm going to be doing the mason jars, and I'm going to put like treasure inside the mason jars. So I just took the stamp, I just stamped it onto some plain paper, and I've cut it out 3 times, and they're going to be my decorations down the bottom. But clearly that leaves a lot of the page that's quite blank, and throughout this devotional I've been using a lot of colour, a lot of watercolour, and sticking to sort of similar colour schemes. And the other thing that I'm calling this the devotional of the sequins. Like, I've been sticking sequins on every single page, like lots and lots of them, and so that's kind of been my habit throughout this one. So I'm going to keep that up. So I'm going to be filling the mason jars up with sequins, and they're going to be like the hidden treasure. And the other thing that I wanted to show you today was a bit of a fun technique that I actually sort of discovered when I just did my last devotional. And that was about using some dry embossing to decorate the page. Now, what do I mean by dry embossing? I've got lots of embossing folders. This one is by Sizzix, and it's called Wood Grain, or maybe it's called Wood Grain number 3. And I was trying to figure out how I could get this into my devotional, because I think it just adds a really fun texture. And I've been experimenting, and it's actually an easy thing. So I'm going to show you, like, literally, this is not going to be perfect, but it is going to be fun. So I'm just sticking the and because, you know, I've already filled up these pages, right? So it's okay. We're going to just run this through the embossing machine, and the one I'm using is a Sizzix Big Shot Plus, which is great because it's actually wide enough for me to stick this whole devotional through there as well. And of course there's no clear sandwich formula, you know, with all of these plates to go on when you're doing this sort of thing, because of course this embossing folder or the book is really quite thick, but I think this is going to work. And I'm just going to run it through that much because I don't want to, like, sort of squish the rest of my book because of all those, you know, sequins. I think if I ran it through, then all of those sequins might sort of just pop off as they crunch through the machine. So let me show you. Look at that. Isn't that fun? So it's going to, of course, mark the back as well, and that's okay. I think I'll just still be able to read it, and then it's created this nice texture. Now I thought I could do another one up the top if I wanted to, but I think because I'm going to be sticking a lot of stickers up the top, I'm just going to leave it blank. And I certainly would recommend that if you were planning on painting or writing or coloring or, you know, decorating this page, to perhaps do it beforehand, before you emboss, because of course now it would be difficult to write over the top of that with all of its lumps and bumps in. But you can of course stick things on top, so that's why I'm going to be sticking my mason jars, and that's why I didn't stamp them onto the page. I stamped them onto a different piece of paper and cut them out. But I will stick them on last because I want to make sure that I've got room at the top to write what I want to write, and I'm not going to sort of journal out a lot of thoughts. What I thought I would do is, in this prompt, it talks about, in fact, you know, the first question here is talking about writing out the acronym CHIAS and embellishing it. And CHIAS is talking about the different names or the different roles of the Holy Spirit. And so the different letters stands for the different things, and it talks about it in here. It's comforter, counselor, helper, intercessor, advocate, strengthener, and standby. And I'm very word driven when it comes to decorating my Bible journal and these devotionals, and a lot of the time I just want to like write out the word, you know, and make it really sort of the focus of what I'm doing. And so I thought I was going to do that again here. Now that's a lot of words to stick in, and a lot of those are really quite long words, and so I was just going to write every word across here in letter stickers. And of course, you know, my go-to at the moment is these illustrated homespun stickers, but they're actually quite sort of chunky or wide, and I'm just afraid that if I were to try to write out like intercessor or strengthener in these stickers, that it might not fit. So I'm going to go to my second go-to stickers, which are the tiny text ones from Bella Boulevard, and a lot of these are available in the Dayspring shop as well, and I've got lots of these. And what I really appreciate about these stickers the most is that they're quite thin, so you can write a really long word across a small page like this and it will fit, I hope, because that's what I'm planning on doing. Now there are 7 words there and a lot of letters, so bear with me as I fast forward through just sticking those words across here. Alright, so those are all my words done, and now I know how much space I've got for these mason jars down the bottom. So I'm just sticking these ones on with double-sided tape. And then my most favourite part, I'm going to fill these in with lots of sequins. Now I've got almost as many sequins as I've got letter stickers, so I'm just thinking of choosing some colours that will match. So I definitely want some blue because I've got lots of blues in here. I like the yellow in one of them, and of course I can never go past pink, and I'm going to stick probably a couple of different shades of colours in each little jar here because that's quite fun. And I use, like, you've got to, I think, you know, use a strong glue to stick down sequins, especially when it's going to be in a book that gets folded up. So I use Glossy Accents. And so now I'm just going to stick a couple of sequins down in each jar. Try not to make a giant mess. And of course, I'll just speed through this one as well. Alright, so this is pretty much my page. I will of course just finish it off by adding some of the watercolors. As you can see, I've put a bit of color into the previous pages, like I'm painting around the edges and I'm highlighting the things that stand out to me with all watercolors, so I'm going to do that here on this page as well. But otherwise, I just wanted to show you some of these fun tricks and techniques that you can use to get like lots of color and lots of texture into your devotional book as well. So you can use some of your, like the reason I sort of thought of this was because it's a bit like a scrapbooking technique, and I use it when I'm doing my pages or my Project Life pages and things like that. And you know, a lot of those things I think I can just transfer into my Bible journaling as well, and this was one way that I thought of doing it. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and maybe try out something different when you do your next page. I'll see you later.